One. Hi everybody. Hi. Welcome back to LDRS Creative. We're in studio tonight. Gonna have some fun. Gonna do some crafting. It is so good to be back. It's so good to see people coming in. It looks like people are kind of coming in slowly tonight. I'm guessing it's gorgeous weather everywhere. So thank you to those of you that are coming in already. Who is here? Let's see. We've got, well, Linnea's here. Hey girl. Some of them just say Facebook user, so I can't see who the name is. But Terry Daniels here and Kathleen Finnegan, Margie and Regan. Who else is here? Sandra Yee, hi. Cindy Patty, Beta Stoner. That's a new name for me, so welcome. Susan Weedy or Whitey, I always forget which name, which way to say it. So, and I'm going to apologize real quick. If I mess up the pronunciation of your name, I am so sorry. I'm doing the best I can. Shelly's here, and Rhonda and Sue and Beth. So everybody, thank you so much for joining us. We really, really do appreciate it. We've got some fun things tonight. So last week we rolled out our new summer collection. And tonight I'm going to be playing with the new summer collection. Had a really nice little vacation. If anybody's wondering why I look a little tan, Stephanie and I actually gathered together in Florida for a few days. And so we had a little bit of downtime and a little bit of relaxation. And we don't get to see each other that often because she lives in Canada and I don't. So it's really, really fun when we get together. And then I miss her tremendously when we part again. But anyway, we actually are going to be gathering for another vacation. Her and her husband and our family. We're going to be getting together in August, so I'm looking forward to that too. But for tonight, we are going to be working with the summer collection. Going to be making a card that's going to feature a lot of the stuff, a lot of the floral items that are in the summer collection. And for those of you that subscribe to or just purchase the Scrapbook and Cards Today magazine. Actually, I don't know if you have to subscribe. I think you can just download it on their website. I don't think you have to subscribe. But anyway, we had an advertisement in the most recent magazine, and that's the card that I'm going to make. So this is it, actually, right here. I made this card, and I absolutely love it. It has a tremendous amount of dimension, lots of beautiful, beautiful color, and lots of details in it. And so I thought I would show you guys how I made this card because it's actually much easier than it looks. So I made it pretty quickly. So we'll see who else is coming in. We've got Virginia is here and Laura Coughlin. Oh, Jen Ray's here. Hey, Jen. Who else is it? Cindy, I can't see your last name very well. Lisa Frazier, lots of people coming in. So thank you, everybody. Oh, a couple more things. Or actually one thing, at the end, now as you know, HSN is going to be coming up. It's going to be on the 12th. You might want to write this down. Currently, our time slots, you're going to see me on HSN. Currently, it's 8 a.m., sometime in the hour, just so you know. So it's going to be in the 8 a.m. hour, the 6 p.m. hour, and the 8 p.m. hour. And that's going to be on the 12th, so that's it's on Tuesday, actually. And when I'm done making this card today, I'm going to give you guys a sneak peek of two of our new kits that are going to be on. So don't drop off early or you'll miss the sneak peek. Okay, so let's go ahead, Alan. We're going to get rolling. We're going to go over to camera 2 because I think I have jibber-jabbered enough so that everybody has some time to get on. We're going to get rolling. You ready?
Yep.
Okay. All right, so let's go close up here, Alan, to camera 3. This is the card. I'm going to show you how I made this. You can see all the dimension in that. Isn't that just so pretty? I love this card. So it's featuring, like, all the floral pieces are in the summer collection. And then we have the diamonds cover plate here. And this is a sentiment from our Everyday Sentiments. I love mixing things together from different collections. And this card, I just think it's so pretty. I wanted to use that diamond cover plate in the background because I think it's kind of, in this case, looks almost like a trellis, like these beautiful flowers are kind of growing up that trellis. I just think it's gorgeous. So I'm going to show you how I made this. First thing I'm going to show you is the products that I'm going to use. So This one is, let me move the card over so I don't lose it. This is the Dahlia layering dies. So for those of you that are familiar with our layering dies, all right, this is a big die set. They're all pretty big die sets. This one has 12 dies in it. When we flip it over, you see on the back, this is what the pieces look like when they're assembled. This is what the pieces look like when they're all die cut. So there's going to be a die cut here for every single piece that you see here. And so we show you kind of a different, like with the color combinations, how you're going to layer them up on the back or what they look like when they're layered up. But we've color coded it so that you can really easily follow along with that and see how they layer. All right, so you get 12 dies in total there. And then I'm also using I'm not sure. I can't remember if I used all three of these. We're going to have to look more closely when I look at the card again. But the aspen leaves, this is a big die. If you look at the size of my hand, this is a big die. Aspen leaves, this is one die. Myrtle, this is another die. And ginkgo leaves, another die. I really, really wanted to have some beautiful leaf dies that these are just going to be staples, and these are going to be things that I'm going to be using constantly. So these are like a larger size, and then I also wanted to have some smaller ones, so we did the mini foliage all in one set. You get 5 dies all together in this set, and these are really fun to create. I mean, our team has been creating some gorgeous things with all of these, but these are really, really fun to create beautiful wreaths and just add lots of texture. And you know, you can cut these. I'm going to be playing with these. You know, you can watercolor and cut these and just do all kinds of gorgeous things with them. So from previous collections, I mentioned the Diamonds A2 cover plate. This is the cover plate that I was referring to that I used. And then for the sentiment, I pulled out the Everyday Sayings. This is the 4x8 stamp set. And then this is the coordinating dies. There's 2 dies for each of the sentiments so that you can actually have a shadow die with each of those as well. So those are all the items that I'm using on this card. All right. So here is, I've actually got 3 goodie bags because there's going to be a lot to show you in here. First, I'm thinking that we're going to start with, actually, you know what? Let me show you. Where am I going to go? All right. I'm going to start with the flowers. Let's do that, because we're going to do this kind of in stages. And hopefully we're not going to go over time. In order to save time, I did do the die cutting already, and I want to show you how I worked these. The colors might be slightly different than what I did in my original card because I did it quite a while ago and I didn't write down what I did, so I just pulled from colors that I had. So I went ahead. This one is, of course, this is all the pieces from the Dahlia layering dies. So I chose 2 different colors, 2 different shades of pink. And when you lay these out, they're going to layer up. And I alternated the colors for when they layer up. So let me move this off camera here. There we go. This is how these are going to layer. Just like that. All right. So this is the base, and then layer number 2, layer number 3, 4, 5, and 6. And we show it on the back here. It's all of these 6 floral pieces right here, and I'm going to layer them up to look like this one. Really cute little tip here. We have this little, see these little sneak peek holes right here? There's one there, and there's one there. Those are little things that you can use to help you easily line things up, because as you can see in the picture, you're always going to see through them. All right. Now, I will tell you this. If you don't layer things up exactly as they are on the back of that, it's not even going to matter. It's still going to look absolutely stunning. So I don't want you to worry about that. But if you notice, I saved these 2 pieces. And I saved these 2 pieces that I die cut through because I'm going to actually be adding some blended color on top of these. And the easiest way for me to do that with small pieces is to have, you know, at least for the smallest pieces, but it's to have something to place them in. So I will do something like, let's see if I can get this in here the right way, right here. I will lay this one in here just like that, and that's going to help hold that in place while I add my color with my blending brush. This one I don't have to worry about so much just because it is so big and it's more solid and it doesn't have those little ends that can pop up easily when the blender brush hits the edges of them. This one is, you know, closer to a full circle. So the ink that I've chosen to work with for this, and I'm going to do it with both of these in the same color, is Tickled Pink. And the difference is going to be in the amount of ink that I add to each one. So we're going to darken up this pink here just a little bit, and this one we're going to add just a little more color on the tips. So I'm going to start off with Tickled Pink, and this is just going to help me add a little more dimension to it. And I think it just makes it like that much prettier when you have kind of these graduated, like shaded ends, as I get it in my fingers, my fingernails. So this is all that I'm going to do to the ends here, just a little bit. All right. Now that one is basically it. This one, and then my next one is this one here. I'm going to lay these in, and now I'm going to brush off some of that color, and I'm going to come in and just get, now I'm going to do this slowly because I don't want to do too much at one time. But I just want to get kind of a little more of a, I want this color to be closer to this color, so the light pink to be closer to the dark pink in some areas, so that they really look like they go together. And it's just going to add a beautiful, beautiful touch. I'm going to turn this as I go instead of rotating my hand around. And I'm only going to do the edges. I'm not going to bother going into the center because you're not going to see that anyway. So let me go on to this one here, since I'm rotating it. There we go. So I started off with a pink paper when I did this, just because it kind of gave me a foundation. I could have started off with white and then come in with a light pink to start and then blend it over, but this just kind of made it go a little bit faster, to be honest with you. Here we go. Let's get the tips on this one. Let me get some of these just a little bit darker so that it's not all exactly the same intensity of color everywhere. Just kind of vary it a bit. But I always brush off first, just so I don't get that really harsh color. Let me get in the center of this one. See, there's one of those little divots in there. That's from the score line. And I do want to get some color into that to make that stand out even more. All right. So let me pop these out and you'll see how they look now. See that extra little bit of color on the tips? I just like that a lot. I think it adds some extra dimension to it. So we're going to set those aside. Kind of brings it to life a little more. Really, really pretty. All right, so next up is this little piece. This is the actual center piece. Now with this one, you know, it probably would have been easier for me to do some of this blending first and then cut it out of the paper that already had the blending, you know, the blended color on it, but I didn't do that, so this is how I'm doing it. It does help to have this in kind of like a little template. There you go. A little bit uneven, and I like that. All right, because it just makes it look, I don't know, I think a little more natural. All right, so that's that one. I do have this piece, and I think I accidentally got rid of the little template piece that I had. So we're going to add some color to this, and this one I'm going to be very careful so that I don't bend up those ends. So if you didn't save a little template, that's okay. You can still do this. I'm not necessarily going to brush off for this one because I want this color to be darker, because I'm already going over a dark pink. So I'm just adding a little bit of variation to those tips to strengthen those. See the difference in the color? But I'm not blending this really, really hard because I don't want to curl up those edges with my brush. I don't want to force them up. All right. Excuse me. All right, there we go. Get those ends. All right. So that one's done. We just have a little bit of extra color in there. I'm actually thinking that I might come in on this one just a little bit more. Now that I see what I did with that other one, this one doesn't look dark enough to me in some areas. There we go. Just make that pop a little bit more. Now this one is very spidery. So I'm going to go ahead and put that into my little template there. And that's going to help give me kind of an even ground. It levels it out when I go to bring this color in. Makes it just a little bit easier, but I still would advise you to not blend really hard. Now you could, like I said, you could do the blending first. I don't do the blending first on these because I just want the blending like on the tips. So that when there's areas, of course this one I'm going to go right in the center because I really want to draw out that beautiful where it's debossed in there. So I'm going over that whole thing. There we go. So that one's kind of the exception, to just get in there and get those debossed areas. Now, these right here are the little buds, little flower buds. I'm going to bring, I'll have to fix my nails later. That's okay. I'll grab this one. I want this color to come up from the bottom. Be a little bit darker at the bottom. There we go. Just a little, just a wee bit. Let me get that right on there. There we go. Pretty. There's one. Now let's get this one also. From the bottom up. Get a little bit more down in here. There we go. If you have any questions at all, remember Alan and Linnea are both standing by. Any questions that they can't answer?
So ask Linnea.
Yeah, so ask Linnea, Alan says. All righty, let me clean off this brush. Okay, so that is the blending on the flowers. We're going to go ahead and get the flower assembled. And then we're going to move on to the other pieces. And you're going to ignore my pink fingers. I'm going to try to also. Okay, so here's how I like to do this. So we're going to go here, 1, 2. I like to lay everything out that I know I'm assembling here. So here's all my pieces, right? Now I'm going to go ahead, where's my glue? Here it is. Here is my glue. Now this first piece I'm going to leave flat. This piece here, I'm just going to kind of start to roll, and you don't want to fold these, but I'm going to start to bend up these little edges here of the flowers. Just a little, not bending them in half, just kind of curling them up gently. Okay? This is my lazy way of doing this. If you want to get out one of those little tools and roll it and all that stuff, then you go right ahead. See that little triangle I told you about? And I have the same triangle here. When I line those up, just like that, we're in business, all right? So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to get some adhesive on here. I'm not going to be putting adhesive all over the bottom of this flower. Only in kind of the center, because I want to have dimension and I want to curl up those ends a bit. All right, so that is in place. I'm just going to hold that for a moment so it doesn't move. And, you know, it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. Don't worry about it if it's not absolutely perfect. All right. Now we've got this one. I'm going to do the same thing, and I'm going to line this up. Kind of curl those ends just a tiny little bit. This is going to lay on top of that one. Now this one, I am going to put some of the adhesive on. This one gives us a little kind of spidery, kind of, you know, veiny looking areas on this lighter pink. That's basically all the little shadowed and dimensional areas. So we want those to kind of touch a bit. So let me lay that down. I'm just paying attention to where that triangle is. Rotate this ever so slightly. You can see how it kind of fits into the piece below it. There we go. And I like using a liquid adhesive for this so that I have that little bit of play time so I could just, you know, rotate it ever so slightly around. Okay, there you go. There's two pieces. Now we have this piece here. All right. Now we have that little triangle right there. I also have this little, see that little piece? This is one of the things I do when I'm putting them together. I look for features that are the same shape. So we have one here that happens to match this little piece here. All right, same shape. So those are going to go together right there, just like that. So again, I'm just going to very gently bend up my little ends here. I don't want my paper to fold. If you want to curl this around a little pencil or something, you can do that. I'm impatient, so I don't necessarily go get all kinds of little tools to work with. I just work with my hands. Which side was that? Here we go. It's right here. There we go. So again, I only put adhesive in the center of that flower. There we go, and lay that down. All right. Now we have all these little spidery pieces again. All right. Now we get to try and figure out exactly which way this one is going to go. And let's see. I think this goes here. Like that? No, I think it might go this way. This is where I get a little, got to play with it a little bit. I could look at my pictures, but I'm not doing that right now, am I? Let me see the shape of this. I think it goes, Angela. All right, let me look at my pictures. Let's see. Okay. This one goes right here. Goes like that. See, it helps if you look at the picture. That's why we have the pictures on the back. The pictures. Okay. So I'm going to bend these up ever so slightly. I am going to put some adhesive on those little pieces, just a little bit. Not too much. But I don't really want those to get caught and jump around later. Like if they get hooked on something, they're kind of vulnerable. And I don't want that. Okay. Line this up so that all those little pieces on the edge line up. There we go. And just press those down and hold them ever so slightly. Isn't that so pretty? It's really coming along. I love this. I think it's just gorgeous. And then our last little piece is this one here. This is going to kind of highlight the center of your dahlia. I love these layered flowers. I think they're so pretty. And it just fits snug as a bug right in there. See how easy that is? Really, really pretty. Now, the difference between this one and this first one that I did on my card, there's a couple of differences. One, On this one, I actually doubled up every single layer. So I actually cut them twice and then just glued them together so that they were thicker, which isn't absolutely necessary. But you will also see once I assemble this, I'm going to make sure that this has more dimension, and I'm going to be inserting some dimensional foam underneath some of these pieces. So it's really going to make this pop. But look how pretty that is. I mean, it really doesn't take that long at all. Just gorgeous. Okay, so next up, we're going to, let's get our little leafy greens assembled. Now you can do this with any of our layered floral dies. You know, we've got the poinsettia, we've got, what else do we have? I think we have the, what is it, the poinsettia, the peony, we've got several of them.
The original.
Yeah. Okay, so again, I die cut everything, and these are all die cut out of white, and then I saved this to use as my little, my little blending template, if you will. And so all of these are going to be green. I'm going to lay each of these in here. And I started with white on these. So I just cut them out of white. And I'm going to lay them in, almost kind of puzzle piece them. And then I'm going to start adding my color to them. I wouldn't have removed these had I been working, on this. The reason I removed them was just so I could put them in my little storage bag, so I could do, this video, or so I could do this live for you guys. But if I had just been crafting in my studio and just working from start to finish on this, I would have just left these in here. I wouldn't have removed them, but they kind of pop out, and I didn't want to lose any, so I just got them out of here and put them into a little bag so I didn't lose any of the pieces. So I would advise you, if you're going to do this, just leave them in the paper. But I do like to cut them first before I use the blender to, the blending brush to put the color on there, because this helps me see where I'm putting the color. If you just want to blend color first, then, by all means do that. It's just, I am a little, I don't know, what do you call that?
Weird?
No, I wouldn't say weird. I like to know where the color's going. Let's put it that way.
Precise.
Precise. There you go. So this color that I'm using is Key Lime Pie. All right, and I'm probably going to get this all over my fingernails too, so just bear with me here. So I brush off first, and I'm just going to get this on here. There we go. Beautiful bright green. And I'm going to do it with each of these. And like I said, you could start this with a kind of a lime green paper if you wanted. I wanted the white on this one as the base because it kind of gives that glowing kind of a look that I think is really pretty. And it also gives you a more truer, green. But it's completely up to you. You can start it with colored paper just like I did the flowers. And, vice versa. I could have started the flowers with white paper as well. See that big chunk right there, that smudge? That's why you always want to blend off the page first. I didn't do it there, and that's why I got a big chunky color there. All right, so it goes on pretty quickly. All of this, by the way, is cut from Neenah Classic Crest Solar White cardstock. Everything that I'm doing. And all of my inks are the LDRS Creative Hybrid inks. And they blend pretty well on here. As you know, when I'm doing like a blended background, I always like to use my Strathmore paper. But these are smaller areas, so it works perfectly fine for the smaller areas. There we go. So see how that just kind of creates, it kind of gives it stability when you put it back in its little template. All right, so that is the key lime. I think it was key lime, right? Key lime pie. Now, I do want to darken some of these up a little bit, and so I also pulled olive branch. And so I'm going to use this one sparingly Same brush. I'm just getting the tip there of that blending brush off a little bit, and I'm going to kind of selectively come up kind of from the bottom and just give this some darker areas from the underside of each of these little leafy areas. It just creates some dimension, kind of from the bottom up. So this one is upside down, so I'll start up here. There we go. And you get some of those darker, some of that darker color into those score lines, and it just really shows them off nicely. There we go. Let's see which way. I'm going to look at my packaging to see which way is the underside here. Okay. Just want to see where I'm going with this one. So I just want to get some kind of from the bottom up again. Just a little bit. I'm going to make this whole leaf darker, the smaller one. That's my shadow. See, when you look here, that's that smaller leaf there. And then the bigger leaf, I'm going to leave lighter. And I'm going to do the same thing with set number 2. So I cut all of these pieces twice because I want to have 2 buds in my arrangement, 2 flower buds, and lots of leaves. So this again is that smaller one, the smaller leaf. So I'm going to make that darker. And you can still go even darker. I mean, you know, do this however you want. And then I'm going to leave some real beautiful bright spots on this larger leaf. Now this one, let's pop that back in. You have any questions from anybody? No? No? Okay, let me look at the back of this again. This is why we give you this. All right, so that little piece there is supposed to be lighter. Let's get those just a tiny little bit, both of those. But I think I'm going to come in and go darker on this leaf here. And then darker on this one still. All right. All right. So that gives me some really pretty color. It looks kind of messy right now, but you'll see once we pop those out of there, all I'm doing is cleaning off my brush right now, but once we pop those out of there, you're going to see how pretty they look. And they don't look at all sloppy anymore. All right. So let's get these out of here. Uh-oh, Alan, leaf overboard. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, it fell right down there. Okay, so here are my little leafy pieces, and you can see all the different colors, light and dark, all in them. Isn't that pretty? It's gonna look even more gorgeous once we start assembling this. So I'm gonna put those up where the flowers are. Did you get that one?
Well, I'm trying.
Okay. Okay, next up, this is my next thing here. You're gonna see me doing a little more color blending in a moment, but I want to set something up to glue and dry before I do that. So hopefully you're able to see just how easy this card is, because it really is. Thank you, honey. Okay, so I cut. This is that diamond A2 cover plate die. This one right here. All right. And I cut it 3 times, including that diamond that is in the center there. That's a separate die. So I did cut that out of the center. I have it 3 times here. And we're just gonna, if you look at the card here, see all the dimension on that? All right. I layered that up like 3 or 4 times. So I've cut this 3 times because I really want to have a lot of dimension. So I cut it 3 times. And I showed you in a previous video where I highlighted these diamonds. I showed you how I used, I don't know what that stuff is called right now. The, oh, Linnea, help me out. What in the world is that sticky stuff called? I'm losing my mind right now. To hold the dies in place in the same way every single time.
Tape?
Yeah, you could use tape. Let's just go with tape. Because I can't think of what it's called right now. Okay, so I'm just going to put some adhesive here. Just a little bit. And again, I like liquid adhesive for this because it gives me, a little bit of freedom of movement here, so I can line these up, maneuver them around a little bit. It doesn't give me too much time, so you want to work kind of quickly because it does start to dry quickly. And if anybody's wondering, I'm using the LDRS Creative Craft Glue. It is a white glue, but it dries clear. I like that it's a white glue because I can really see where I'm putting it, and then it dries completely clear. And it dries really quick too. Okay, so there's that one. I'm going to go ahead and do this one now. So I'm going to put 3 of these together. And if you want to do 4 or if you want to do 5, I mean, whatever the depth is that you want to have, for dimension on your card. And keep in mind too, I mean, these A2 dies, you can use these in scrapbooking. You can use these on like altered projects and mixed media. Do all kinds of beautiful things with them. They're really, really versatile. I love them. I'm kind of a cover plate addict, I think. I do love them. I just think they're so pretty, and they add such an easy and gorgeous background. Lots of dimension, lots of interest on your cards.
Hey, Maria Russell showed up.
Oh, Maria's here. Hi, Maria. Nice to see you. Maria is also on our design team. She is just fantastic. She designs on our regular design team as well as our HSN design team. So welcome. Okay, so we're going to let this just kind of set aside right now. I'm going to go ahead and place that off to the side, and I'm literally going to put my Misty down on top of it just to keep it nice and flat. Now, remember all those little leafy dies? Let me show you these things and show you what I've done. So I've got, where are they? I've already done a bunch of die cutting because just wanted to get it out of the way so I could show you everything. So these are all the pretty gorgeous little floral pieces that you get when you cut with the mini foliage. That's this one here. So you can see how beautiful and how sweet these are. I just think they're so pretty, and I love them in white. You could do these, I could just add, like if you cut these out of watercolor paper, and then just add some, watercolor to them and let it move through. I mean, just gorgeous. Actually, now that I'm thinking about that, that might even be my next project. Maybe I'll do something like that. Just let it move through there on its own and create some absolutely stunning foliage. But for purposes today, I just cut them all in white, and they're actually cut with my Neenah Classic Solar White cardstock. I got stuff all over here. Sorry about my hand there. Okay. Next up is this beautiful myrtle. That's what this one is myrtle. You can see how delicate and intricate this is. So pretty. The die cuts magnificently. I will tell you, because this is really delicate, you look at how thin that little stem is and everything on there. You do want to, exercise a little bit of care when you're removing these from the paper so that you don't tear them. They are really delicate. That's intentional because I wanted them to be as stunning and gorgeous as they are. So that is the myrtle. This one over here is the ginkgo leaves right here. Same thing. You look how delicate that is. Absolutely beautiful. These are really large. You can use these on A2 cards like I'm doing, slim lines, perfect for slim lines because they're long and narrow. They're absolutely stunning because of the overall size on scrapbook pages and so on, really for any of your craft projects. And I really do think that these are going to be things that I'm just going to be grabbing constantly. The last one that I cut is, now let me set these aside. The last one is the aspen leaf. And here it is. I cut it out of a piece of Neenah Classic Crest Solar White cardstock, and I left it in here. I did not remove this one yet because I'm going to do some blending, and I want to do my color blending on here again, just as though it's a template, because it is it's delicate, and I don't want to ruin it when I do my blending with my colors. So the colors that I've chosen to work with for the blending are, the first one is Marina Madness, which is a beautiful, beautiful sky blue. And then I'm going to accent just a little bit, very softly, with Tropical Sea. So this one is like a beautiful sky blue. This one has a little bit of a green in it, and they're absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous together. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of cover this, almost cover it, with Marina Madness. But I'm going to do it very gently because I just want, I'm actually going to go in this direction because I want to leave the tips of those lighter. And I'm just going to work my way up, just like so, and make this super light. I don't want to leave white, but I want to leave the tips lighter, the tips of each of these leaves lighter. Let me go right up the center there, and then pay a little bit of attention to each of these leaves. And I can always come in again. With each one of these, I am going to brush off first onto my paper here. It just takes that kind of roughness out of the first time, you know, when you go directly from the ink pad to the paper. It can give you a little bit of a coarse beginning. And so I like to smooth that out a bit on paper. Alrighty. And try, when you do this, just try and focus on each of the leaves. Don't worry about, you know, the color that you're getting in between the leaves. You know, whether that's heavy or not, it doesn't really matter. Nothing about this has to be completely even in terms of color application either. Just let it be kind of free-flowing and just really pretty. I'm not even worried, by the way, about what color are aspen leaves. I don't care, okay? I just wanted to have some really pretty blue in my card, to be honest with you. I'm not concerned about creating, you know, a real natural look here. It's a wonderful thing about art, you know, and being creative is you just get to kind of interpret. And so for me, I was just looking at the shape. Okay, so I'm going to leave this. Get that one a little bit. I somehow missed him. I'm going to leave it like that at this point with the Marina Madness. And I'm going to grab the, this one is called Tropical Sea. I'm going to use the same brush, come in and get a little bit of color. This is a stronger color. I'm going to be more selective and just get kind of at the base of these leaves. All right, leaving some of that white, or not white, but brighter area up toward the top of each of those leaves. All right.
Marge is asking if those are makeup brushes.
Are these makeup brushes?
Yes.
They're blending brushes?
Yeah. Well, were they originally like makeup brushes?
Probably, possibly.
similar.
I don't really, that's a good question. They may have been initially, I don't know. That's not how I ordered them from my manufacturer. So.
And I have a question. Do the ginkgo leaves help you remember?
Did the ginkgo leaves help me remember?
Yeah,
You're wondering? You're asking me? You're so funny. Did you almost forget to ask me that question?
That question?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, now I get it. Turned it around on me, didn't you?
Turned it around on you, yep. Alrighty, so here we go. We're leaving some of those lighter, brighter areas in blue and not quite so white, but a little bit. And wait until this comes out of here. You're just going to be like, oh, because that's how I was when I first did the very first one. I just think it's so gorgeous.
I like how it fills in the little...
All the little...
green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those score lines.
Yeah.
Okay, this is what I'm doing off camera. I'm just brushing off the excess off my brush. Helps your brush stay softer. You get that excess off of there.
And you got a one-of-a-kind towel.
And then you have a one-of-a-kind towel, yep. There we go. Okay, so we're going to be delicate here as we move this out of here. Because if you look and you see how thin these little lines are, I just want to be careful. And you have to remember too, I cut this from Nina Classic Crest Solar White cardstock. This is a thick cardstock, okay? So you might have to work it just a little bit if you're going to be using a thick cardstock like this. Because the paper likes to stay together. And that's good. That makes it easier for me to do my color blending. But I just have to, you know, just be a little patient when I start popping all these out. Now, if I do end up tearing this for my purposes for this card, it's really not going to matter because I have so much going over it. But let me just pop these out. There we go. I'm just loosening all of the little pieces right now is what I'm doing. Separating it from the cardstock. There we go. All right, so let's start popping this up. The paper wants to get in the way all the time, so you want to push the little pieces that you don't want back. At least this is how I do it. Everybody has their own way, right? Start lifting this up. And again, just be gentle. Get the pieces out of the way that you don't need. Look how fine that is. Isn't that gorgeous? Now, if I would have used a, I'm going to get some scissors here to start trimming this paper out. If I would have used a paper that was thinner, this would probably come out much easier. There we go. As I free it, I like to cut the paper away. Let's get this piece out of there. There we go. It's cut all the way through. I just need to get all those little pieces that are kind of intertwined out of there. There we go. Lift the leaves out. See, that one's kind of stuck in the paper there. There we go. Somehow it always hooks on. There we go. Let me get this piece out because that one's hooking. There we go. There we go. Actually, let me cut from this side. Be sure not to cut the flowers when you do that, or the leaves. Let's just get this one out of here. It's wrapping around. There we go. Come on out of there. almost done. Come out of there. All right, last little piece. We're going to have a big applause. Just takes a little bit of patience. There we go. Just have to unhook those pieces. There we go. Check that out. Isn't that gorgeous? I love it. Very delicate. Look how beautiful that is. So stunning. And when you see those white tips on there, almost white, oh my goodness, I absolutely love it. Okay. So what else do we need here? Let's see. We need a card base. So this is a piece of, again, Neenah Classic Crest Solar White cardstock. Alan, I think I do not have, oh, no, I do. It's over here. All right. This was an 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock, and I just trimmed it at 5.5, and I'm going to score it at 4 1/4. All right. Fold that over. There we go. All right, now, first things first. We're going to start assembling this. And by the way, we're probably going to go a little bit over 8 o'clock, but that's okay. All right, so I'm going to put this cover plate down. And I'm going to use my liquid adhesive again. There we go. Alrighty. And again, I really like using liquid adhesive for this because it gives me some working time, you know, for positioning it properly. All right. Let me get my hand in here. There we go. All right. Slide that up a little bit. I was a little bit off. There we go. So that's all you have to do to create the background or the backdrop. Get little pieces of lint off of there. Okay. So now we're going to start doing a little bit of assembly. I'm going to set this aside once again, and I'm just going to put that over the top of it, and we're going to start doing some more assembly over here with some of these pieces. Okay, so I've got these two little buds, and again, if you look at the instructions on the back of your dies, you're going to see what we're going to assemble, and we're going to use these pieces over here. All right, so this is what we're going to assemble. This is the little bud, and it's really, really easy to do. So first we have the little pink bud. I'm just going to put some liquid adhesive on, and that's going to fit beautifully right into the center right here. Let me rotate that up a little bit. That's why I use that liquid adhesive. Get that up into place. There we go. Fits perfect. I'm going to do the second one. There we go. Gorgeous. Look how pretty already. And then we're going to take these two little pieces here. Those are going to go in the front, so it's going to look like the bud is inside of those leaves, kind of in the middle of them. Okay. This is a clear adhesive, so don't worry about having some of that getting outside there. It goes on white, but it dries clear. So I'm not going to worry about that. There we go. Look how pretty these buds are. Isn't that so pretty? I love them. Gorgeous. With that darker green kind of at the base there, it shadows a little bit with that blending. So, so pretty. And then we've got, see these two pieces here? This goes right on here. Gives us some dimension. So we kept those a little bit brighter, or lighter, I guess we could say. Fits just perfectly in there. Look how pretty, how that lines up. Isn't that gorgeous? So nice. And had I gone even darker with that backside, you know, it would look a little bit different. So it's totally up to you how you want to do it. And you don't even have to do the color blending. You can just do this with different colored cardstock. You don't have to do color blending like I did. Completely up to you. What?
That's what I was just thinking. I'm so lazy, I would have just found a green piece of paper.
Oh. And then these two are going to layer over, just like so.
Those look great though.
Thank you.
They look a lot more real.
Yeah, I think so too. I like all the shadowing on them.
Yeah.
There we go. There's one. And then let's do this one also. Oops, almost dropped it again.
That was hard to pick up. You don't want to drop those.
Well, it's just flat on the floor.
You need a
so.
tool where you can...
Oh, there you go. So there's that. Okay, so we have all those pieces done. There you go. Now we're going to do the big assembly here. Let me move this aside. So I really wanted to have this kind of coming across like so. I thought it would be really, really pretty. Now, when I actually did this on my card originally, I think I had two of these. So I had one going in that direction and one going in this direction, which is totally not necessary. So we're just going to do the one for right now. So I am going to put a little bit of adhesive in here or on here. It's going to be hard to know exactly the places it's going to hit. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to put it under some of these. Because some of these are going to touch the raised areas of, and I can always add some adhesive afterwards too. It doesn't all have to be at this point. But we are going to have stuff on top of this too, so you don't have to worry about adhering this down too much. What I'm going to do though, let me make sure I'm opening it in the right direction, is kind of lay it down across my card. And then some of these areas where I've got the adhesive are going to touch down. And some of them may not, but that's okay. Where I don't have adhesive and I want it, I can add it at this point so that things kind of stay a little bit better. But at least I have some to hold it in place right now. But now at least I can see like those areas that need it. There we go. I'll lift this one up a little bit. Put some adhesive here. And remember, I'm going to have stuff over the top of this. So I don't have to really firmly have this in place everywhere. But I don't want the pieces flopping around either. That one's already secure. I figured the more stuff that flops around on it, the more damage we're going to have over time. And I don't want damage on it over time. I want it to hold, you know, so when I send this to somebody, that one's already secure. There you go. All right. All right, so that's pretty good. Those are holding. while that's drying, I'm going to start adding some foam to this flower, because I really want the dimension to hold. So if I put this into an envelope, I don't want it to totally flatten out. Where's my scissors? Here they are. So what I did was added just some little pieces of foam to maintain the dimension in between some of these layers. Just like that. That's going to stay up now. You only see it when you look from the side, so I don't worry about it too much, but it adds a lot to the card. And it makes sure that when the recipient opens this up, it has dimension. Oops. Putting them a little bit closer to center in there also. So this is why I didn't want to adhere all the petals flat between the layers. Because if I had done that, I wouldn't be able to lift them up and add this behind them. And this is what I think really brings it to life when you're trying to create a card with dimension or a flower with dimension. Now, you don't have to do this every time you work with these dies. This is just one way of using them. Happens to be my favorite. And this part really, I mean, yeah, some of this stuff is a little time consuming, but this is also relaxing, I think. Of course, some people think fussy cutting is relaxing and I don't, so you may not think this is as relaxing as I do.
I find it stressful.
Alan finds it stressful. You're not doing anything.
So is cooking.
Oh gosh. Okay, so let's find these other layers. I want to get some of this under these other layers as well. Just to pop up some of these in the middle too. Because that's going to really add some dimension. And I'm trying to put them a little bit closer into the center and then press them down so that they adhere underneath. And right now, I'm not necessarily doing every one of them in the center. Oops. Just kind of the larger ones. Alrighty, let's do this last one here. There we go. So now you have that beautiful dimension. All right. So let's get those little bits out of here, because I don't like to work in all the mess. And then we're going to start laying this out and how these are going to go on here. So I do want this here, and I have these two little leafy green pieces here. So these are going to go kind of in this area, like so. So let's go ahead and get these done. And I'm going to put the adhesive right across just like that, because I don't even know where it's going to hit. Let's do that. So it's got a good foundation. Hanging it off a tiny little bit off the end there, because it just gives it a beautiful kind of natural look. I think it's really nice. And then this one, almost as though it just kind of grew bigger than, you know, than what I'm working on. And I think that's just gorgeous. And now here, I don't want to put this one down yet. So this is where this is going to go, just like so. Next up, I do want to get these buds in here. I got to think about how everything is going to go. So this is where I like the buds, kind of like that. And we need to get these other pieces in. Now, with these other pieces, I'm going to trim them because I don't necessarily need so much of it. So I'm going to trim these like so. And I just start playing with them and kind of tucking them. I'm going to cut off the end of this. So don't be afraid to trim these. I want these to peek out. And I'm not going to glue all of these ends down either. So I'm going to have one here. Let's move this out of the way. Let's put it right about here. So we still see some of that blue. Make sure that flower is going to cover. And then let's do, I mean, just kind of pick through the flowers, whatever we've got here. Maybe some of that, I think that ginkgo's a little bit big there. So I'm going to grab these little minis and get a little different texture in. That one looks very similar, so I'm going to do this one. I'm not necessarily doing this exactly how I did the first one. I'm just grabbing what I think feels right now. I just want to make sure my pieces are going to show. And then I'm going to put this one here. There you go. I'm only putting adhesive kind of on those ends so that these ends stick up. And now I'm going to have some of this ginkgo kind of go up in the top there. I'm going to trim a piece of this and have that kind of maybe like that. The blue that I have in there is literally going to start to kind of fade away into the background a bit. And that's okay. I just want to have that blue kind of as an accent. Let's see what's showing. Very pretty. Let me get a tiny little bit of this up in here. So it's really just about layering and just creating a lot of texture with it. And I really like layering the different flowers in there too. I'm sorry, the different leaves, because they have different texture in them. So some of them might be a little bit heavier. And then just put this lighter one maybe right up through the top there. Really pretty. Okay. Now let's see where these flowers are going to go. All right, so let's give that here. If that goes there. All right, let's press that down. I'm going to get a little bit of foam behind that bud to make sure that bud stays up. It's not only going to stay up, but it's also going to be adhered to what's below it, but it's going to give me a little pop up there too, so it doesn't lay totally flat. So that's one. And then this is the other one. Where's that going to go? Let's see. All right. I'm going to put foam on the back of that before I forget. Right there. A bit of adhesive. And let's see where it's going to go. Always, everything is relative to where this flower is. Have you noticed that? Everything I'm doing with this one, paying attention to the overall composition of the whole thing before I place anything down. All right. There we go. Now, I'm going to go ahead and get a lot of adhesive on this one. There we go. So pretty. Okay. So I didn't use some of the pieces, and that's okay. I'm going to pop these up a little bit for a little bit of dimension. Pop up some of the ginkgo here. Just kind of move things around a little bit. Get some of that texture back. Some of those layers. All right, there you go. Very pretty. Bend the leaves up a little if it makes sense. Okay? So next thing we need, last thing we need. You like it so far? How's it working? I like it. All right, so last thing we need is a sentiment. So we're going to get our trusty Misty out here. I need a piece of, actually, I think I could stamp it on a piece of my scrap paper here. Let's try that. See if I can get a sentiment on one of my little pieces of scrap paper here. You make me smile, for you with love. I haven't used that one yet. Let's do that. For you with love. Works for me. This card will be for you, Alan.
Thank you.
All right. First time I'm stamping this one, so I might have to do it a couple of times. Let me get any of the stuffs off there that might be on there. Stampendable. I'll tell you, don't be in your craft room without it. What?
That kind of became like the Xerox or
What?
you know, the brand name that people use to,
Oh, the Stampendable?
yeah.
Became like what, like the name Kleenex or
Yeah.
Xerox, where everybody
Yeah.
calls their stamping tool a Stampendable?
Yeah.
I tell you, I know, since we came out with our Stampendable, and by the way, we are out of it, but we're getting more inventory.
Resellers have it. Stores.
Yeah, stores still have it. We are out of it, but you will find that there are probably some stores that still have it. I think I'm going to do that one more time. There we go. We will have more in stock next month. But you know what? Here's the thing. I mean, it retails at what, $9? Something like that. I know that there have been some other companies that have come up with their own version of it and stuff like that. But I'll tell you, as lightweight and easy as it is, and inexpensive and so dependable all the time, frankly, why pay more? That's kind of how I feel. But it's just me. All right, here we go. Get that cleaned up. Where's my stamp thing? Here we go. And then, see, this is drying while I put things away. It gives that a moment to dry. And then we're going to cut that out with the coordinating die. Let me see which one coordinates. Here it is. I think it's this one right here. Let's see. I think it's this one. Make sure it's dry. Oh. There you go. I got the right one. Yay! It's always good to have those little images on the front. They really do come in handy. Now I should probably let this dry a little more, but just because I did 3 layers of it, but we'll see. We shall see. Just put that a little bit on there. Hopefully the tape won't remove the color any. All right, will you come back out to camera 2 so this isn't so gargantuan in everybody's There we go.
I almost forgot I was running the camera.
You forgot you were running the camera?
Yeah, I didn't switch cameras.
All right, so there's that one. That cut it. Do I have another piece here? Yeah. I'm going to cut one more with this die. Just a blank. Because I want to layer it up. I might even cut a couple of them. See if I can go backwards. Oh, look at that. So there's two. Can I fit another one on here, do you think? Because I like layering them instead of popping it up on foam. Is that going to work? And even if it gets a little bit of that blue, it's not going to matter because I'm going to layer it anyway. So we'll just have 3 of these that will get layered up. Alan, do you want to move that for me? Would you mind? Thank you. Oh, crash landing.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Maverick. Everybody see the Maverick movie? Oh! We finally went to see it. Loved it. Okay. We're going to need you to come into camera 3 again.
Wow, we're really changing cameras now.
What? So I've got 3 of these. I cut one where of the sentiment that I stamped and then just 2 blanks. So I'm just going to go ahead and layer these up. I could use that shadow die if I wanted to and shadow it with a darker color, but I don't want to take up the space on my card, and I don't want to draw too much attention away from my centerpiece, which is my beautiful floral display. So I am just going to do this without a shadow, but I do love that the shadows are an option. Okay, so these are layered up, 1, 2, 3. It just makes it nice and thick so I don't have to put foam behind it. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to layer this in here just like, where's it going to go? We'll put it right here. So I'm going to go ahead and load this up with some glue. There we go. And just kind of tuck that in wherever it makes sense. Let me get this out of here. I want to have that up above it because I think it's pretty. And I'm just going to hold this here just for a moment and let that dry, but I do want to have that in place. And it's a little bit bumpy because of, you know, all the stuff I have underneath it, but that's okay. All right, I think that has dried pretty good. Good enough. Look how pretty. So that is all there is to creating this card. The only difference is that when I did the original card, well, aside from the color, I used different colored paper. But when I did the original card, you know how I layered up the sentiment in layers? I did the same thing with the flowers. So here, when I did it tonight, I used a single layer for each color. When I did it originally, I did it with 2 layers of each color, and I glued them together first. So, you know, you will see a little bit of a difference when I go like this. You know, you're going to see. Maybe, maybe not. It does feel a little bit different, but
It looks different.
it's just as gorgeous. Just as gorgeous. Yeah, the petals look a lot thicker on this one.
Yeah.
But that's okay. I think it's just as stunning. Yay. I hope you guys like it. I think it's really, really pretty. One of my favorite cards that I've done in a long time, I've got to say. And I think it's just gorgeous in the magazine too. So, okay, so Alan, do you want to come to camera 1 real quick?
Yes, sure.
Why? What are you laughing at?
People asking about reinkers.
That's right, re-inkers. Oopsie. Would you believe we have them?
I think they're in the garage.
We have them. We just haven't had time yet to get them in the store, but we do have them, so they will be out soon. Remember that. Write that down. Who wants to see an HSN sneak peek? Ah! For those of you that missed the very beginning, HSN is going to be on Tuesday, July 12th. If you want to write this down, I will be on. Our time slots so far, this will be in these hours, 8 a.m., so sometime in the 8 a.m. hour, sometime in the 6 p.m. hour, and then in the 8 p.m. hour. And I will tell you this, I'm not going to show you the full paper pack. I'm giddy over this. We're going to, let me get these things, these items. Let's go to camera 2. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? We have a new paper pack. It's a 12 by 12 Christmas paper pack. You're going to get a ton of paper in it. You're going to get beautiful die cut sheets in there as well, and it is Christmas. It is Peace and Joy. We've never had a Peace and Joy 12 by 12. So for those of you that love our Peace and Joy 6 by 6 and the 4 by 9, HSN is going to be the only place that you're going to be able to get the 12 by 12. Look at how gorgeous this scrapbook page is. For those of you that love scrapbooking, look at that. How stunning. Absolutely stunning. I've got 3 scrapbook pages here to show you. These are by Erica. It's Erica Rose Crate. She's on our design team and she's doing scrapbook pages. And look at this. Oh my gosh. Look how amazing that is. I mean, just look at that little face, first of all, but if you can tear your eyes away from that sweet little baby, look at the papers and the die cuts and everything. Oh my gosh. It's all just so beautiful. And then, I mean, seriously, look at the face on that little baby. I love dogs too. But look how gorgeous this is. All done with the Peace and Joy 12 by 12. Now, you can also do things like, look at these little ornaments, real simple little ornaments made. I mean, how cute is that to decorate your tree? I just love that. These could be ornaments. These could also be little tags if you want to put to and from on there like we did. But you could hang these on your tree as little ornaments with your little die cuts, all done from that paper. Ann, will you come into camera 2?
Sure, it is 2.
Okay, 3, I'm sorry. There we go. Look at those close-ups. So pretty. Those, like the Joy and the Holiday Cheer, those are part of the die cut ephemera sheets that are in there. So it makes it really, really easy for you to craft with. Just add a few gems and you are good to go. Look at these. Oh, so not only for tags or ornaments or scrapbook pages, but look at the amazing cards you can create. So pretty. This one we've actually got the paper combined with that diamond cover plate that you just saw. Look how sweet that is. Just brilliant. Look at that one. Brilliant. Absolutely stunning. Absolutely love these. I love these samples too because we're showing you how you can mix and match these with all kinds of stamps and dies and things that you already have in your collection. Look at this one. We've cut little trees from the paper. Just add a sentiment. Everything you see here, well, with the exception of the little glittery things there, that's all from the Peace and Joy. And then look at that one. Gorgeous colors. I mean, the color scheme in this paper pack is amazing. It goes from those deep burgundies to these beautiful soft pinks, and then look at that beautiful kind of mint green. You can really see the full spectrum of colors when you look at these. I just love them. Peace and Joy 12 by 12. We've got so many more samples to show you on show day on Tuesday. But again, check these out. Oh my gosh. Look at this one again. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. I mean, seriously stunning. Oh, I miss scrapbooking. I'm going to be doing scrapbooking again. We have another kit. You want to hand me that that stack right there? Can you reach it?
I think so.
We have a stack. I don't know if you guys know what tunnel cards are. There we go. I don't know if you guys know what tunnel cards are, but we have a tunnel card kit. This is a full kit that has everything in it you're going to need to make 20 Christmas cards like you've never seen before. This is one. I've got a little handful here to show you. Everything you see here is included in the kit. I mean, absolutely everything. So you're going to get a full, set of instructions on this as well. Look at this. It all pops up. Look at that. It's dimensional. You see how that opens? See how that goes? It's all dimensional. You're going to be able to create this beautiful scene inside your cards. Everything you see here, it's all done with so the card bases are all included. You actually have instructions on each of the card bases. Everything is all cut out. All of your little ephemera pieces are cut out. Everything is already pre-printed, ready for you to fold, ready for you to just literally add your adhesive and decorate it with everything that's in there. And the instructions are also going to show you, give you inspiration, give you kind of walk through different cards that you can create. Look how sweet this is. Look at that little Bambi there. Oh my. And watch this. Here's another thing too. Notice it lays flat. These create A2 cards that fits right into an envelope, an A2 envelope, which, by the way, this kit also includes your envelopes. Now watch as I open this up. See how it opens up and now it's dimensional? See that? Look how gorgeous that is. It creates that beautiful tunnel look of dimension. So you have 3 layers. You have this outer layer where you can put some of your embellishments. You have a second layer on the inside there where you can put a whole other layer of die cuts, and then you have the beautiful background. So you can actually have 3 layers of pieces in here to create your scene. Look how gorgeous. Happy holidays. It's all pre-printed. All of these are die cuts. Absolutely everything. You decorate these however you want. Everything on the front, everything on the inside. Look how beautiful. Show you how they open and close. So, so pretty. You get to decide if you want to layer them in 2 layers or in 3 layers. Believe in the magic of Christmas. You get to decide what goes on the front. Which one of the sentiments you want to put. Again, it lays flat. You open it up and look what happens. Look how gorgeous. From our family to yours. So pretty. I've got one more here to show you. And I promise you, these are the easiest things to put together. Check this out. So again, lays flat for mailing, okay? But it pops open and look at that dimension. Gorgeous. You're going to get a ton of die cuts in here, all kinds of sentiments. Notice the colors and everything, these backgrounds in here. They're different on these cards. They're not all the same background. All the patterns that are back there. Look at that. We have this one. Looky here. So gorgeous. With the plaid. Look at that one. We have that little, it almost looks to me like a little German house, or maybe it's like Santa's workshop back there. So, so pretty. I just love these. You can follow the instructions and make the samples that we show you, or you can totally customize yours however you want. These are called the Magic of Christmas tunnel cards. It's going to have everything you need to make 20 very detailed, very full cards just like these. So something that you've never seen before, and when you show these to your family and friends, when you mail these or you hand these to them, oh my gosh, I mean, they're going to be shocked. I seriously, we've never done a kit like this with so much dimension. I think they're absolutely stunning, and the images on them are just darling. Look at how cute they are. Okay, so.
The kids love it, and the kids love it. You ready?
Yeah, switch back to one. Okay, so that is our sneak peek. I hope you guys like those. I'm so excited about these kits. I do not expect them to last long because they really are some of the very best things that we have done. So, alrighty, so let's do a quick little giveaway for those of you that have stuck around, shall we? I think, let's give away, because this is one of my favorite things. It's small, but it's mighty.
That has been selling like crazy.
Really?
Yes.
The mini foliage? All right.
Yes.
We're going to give away the mini foliage dies because it's small, but it is mighty. And, so you can create something like that. The winner is Diane. I can't read your writing. Is that McClama?
Yes.
Diane McClama, MC.
McClama.
McClamma, MC.
Micklema.
MCCLAMMA, Diane. You have won! Hopefully you're still here. So congratulations, Diane. You have won the mini foliage dies. We need you to please send your name and your complete mailing address to customer service at ldrscreative.com, and we will get your mini foliage dies shipped out to you right away. Yay! And again, here are my cards. All right. Oh, my hair. What's going on with this hair? Is it sticking up? I don't know. So here they are. All right, there they are. Yay! Okay, everybody, thank you so much for sticking with us tonight, for joining us tonight. For those of you that are planning on being here for HSN on Tuesday, again, 8 a.m., 6 p.m., 8 p.m. Look for me sometime in those hours, and we will be showing you different kits and having lots of fun. I cannot wait. And then we will be back here again next Thursday. And I don't know what I'm going to be doing then. We'll see. Okay, bye, everybody. We'll see you on Tuesday. Have a wonderful night. Have a fantastic weekend. Bye for now.